All right, we're back again. Sorry, having some tough technical difficulties, but I hit the wrong button. I don't have my reading glasses. So just to kind of show you what we're doing. So I was saying before, there's a lot of load times. Most of the time is load time sitting in the truck. It's too dangerous to get out. And then there's high times where we're just doing what we're doing. So we can drive around and burn through fuel and take pictures of trees falling and destruction and all that, but that's not what we're doing. One, we can't get hurt. We don't want to damage the vehicles or anything like that, because then we can't do what we're here to do. We're not here for clickbait or any of that stuff. So we're really just kind of hunkering down so that way we can function when this blows over. So the winds have substantially picked up. I know it's a little tree, but if you see a little tree over there, it ripped it right out of the ground. There, you can kind of see it's hard to see with the GoPro the way it focuses, but it looks like mist blowing. That's the water just blowing towards us. There's a tour bus they pulled over there. Someone left a camper there, so we're faced into the wind, but I mean, I'll let this roll so that way you guys can see, but what we did was we faced into the wind to kind of brake. We don't want to pushing the trailer over the truck. On top of that, we kind of want to see what's about to hit us. There's a gas station behind us, and the roofs on gas stations are notoriously bad for flying off. So that's behind us. We're safe from that. So we're always thinking of safety, but like I said, Dominick's constantly looking at his phone for weather. We have the weather radio, that stuff. But another big thing I wanted to point out is we don't do this for any monetary gain for ourselves. We risk our lives to help the animals and the people that own them, because that's how we feel strongly about it. So people that are in the military, they know what this big mess on my lap is. This is what we eat. So we don't have the luxury of being able to go get something. Like, that's just how it is. So we eat MREs. They're kind of good, but they're not the best. Could be worse. So I'm gonna cook this. I'm gonna give Dominick the camera. We're just gonna let it roll, and you can see he'll pan around and show you. You're mostly gonna see the Walmart parking lot, but like I said, I don't want to be driving around burning through fuel and potentially getting hurt or having to end our
running out
deployment.
Of fuel,
yeah,
nobody has fuel,
or running out of fuel. So like I said, we're just gonna hang out, do what we do. I'm going to make what did I get? Chicken noodle soup. So I got to heat it up. There's this chemical package and all that stuff, but yeah, like I said, this is our home. I mean, it's kind of a mess, trying to keep stuff dry, but in order to do the things that we do at the level we do, we have to do this. And this is where all your donations go. They don't go to us. They don't go to, the truck. They literally go to helping these people, because we still have a few hours before the storm actually hits us. So these people are really, really going to need help. I know I say that every hurricane, but it's slowed down so much. I doubt you can see me, so Dominick keeps turning the lights off. It's just dumping all this water, and there's no end in sight for it. So everything is closed. A lot of people did evacuate, which is good. I always advocate evacuating. Just leave. We know of a couple rescues in the New Orleans area that we're gonna have to get to when it clears up, and it's a little bit safer for us to get down there. The sheriff's department, they're all hunkered down. The fire department, no one is doing calls, and that's pretty much protocol during all these. They don't respond to calls, because for the same reasons. Driving around, it just increases the risk of causing damage to life-saving equipment or people getting hurt, and they can't help. So yeah, that's what that is. So I'm gonna mix this concoction together. I'm gonna give this to Dominick, and he's gonna just kind of pan around and maybe talk, but I'll show you the weather. Oh yeah, everybody heard you.
So the wind's picking up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a howling every now and then blowing. You can hear it blowing up against the truck. That's the wind. So it kind of changes. We get it head on and also from the passenger side. It just kind of changes directions a little bit here and there. Sorry for moving the camera like that. Probably gave some people motion sickness. My bad. Gotta sneeze again. Whew. But yep, we're just waiting here. Like he said, facing the way we're facing, it's the best thing to do, because if anything does end up blowing our direction, we'll see it and we can move out of its way fairly quickly. Hopefully.
Chemical coffee, my favorite.
Oh yeah, chemical coffee's the best.
So it's hot in here.
Yeah, it's very hot in here. We're not running the truck because we're not trying to burn through fuel, so we're just sitting here with the truck off, and it just gets really, really hot in here. As you can see, the windows fog up. But we'll do our best to get these windows clear for you guys to, you know, kind of just see the stuff that's going on, and gradually just get worse and worse. So we're probably going to be hunkered down in this parking lot with a speed that storm is moving for 14, 15 hours. We'll be riding out the storm here just because it's moving so slow.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My hood's lifted up.
I don't know if you guys can see too well, but the light posts are shaking back and forth.
Let me defrost the windows real quick.
So if you look, you know, the second and third one, you can see the light posts just going right back and forth.
And that's another thing we have to get. It looks like we're haphazardly put in this parking lot, but we are distance apart, so if any trees come down, any light posts come down, they won't hit the truck if they directly fall down. So believe it or not, there's a lot of thought process that goes behind what we do, where we do it, and how we do it. And not only that, we have several spots located to where we can move in relatively quick. Like I said, to keep us safe. This is our little sanctuary. Yes, it's a truck, but even if we're in a tank, you know, you have to reduce the risks of something happening, and that's a big part of why we're so good at what we do. Is these are all things that need to be done. Just blindly going into a situation like this isn't good. And I know during Hurricane Harvey, when we went and everything happened with Frank, that was very new to us, and I made a lot of mistakes that probably could have prevented some of the things that happened. It's a lot easier to say looking back, but there's a lot of, you know, things can happen so quick. On top of that, there is no safety net for us. I can call friends, family, loved ones, they cannot get to us. They're too far away.
Roads are closed.
Yeah, we have to really fend for ourselves. There's no, that's it. That's all we are. A lot of the local law enforcement and fire departments that we work with, we have that understanding that they're not coming to help us. They cannot. They can't. It's not worth the risk. So there are a lot of other groups out there that do similar things to what we do, but not to the level that we do it. So that's kind of why we continue to do what we're doing. Try to help those groups as much as possible, but we're going to keep doing the search and rescue thing. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. Like I said, if you can see, the winds are picking up big time.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to see with the GoPro because of the field of view on it, but if you see, my hood is actually lifting up and down and shaking. This truck is fully loaded down. All vehicles will move a little bit in the, you know, in the wind, but it's rocking us pretty good. I can imagine those people in that tour bus. We don't know if there's definitely a driver in it. We don't know if there is
Passengers.
yeah, people that are traveling. So it's a very, very scary situation. We've done this. This is our 13th hurricane that we've done. And it's always, there's always some fear to it. At any point in time, something can fly off the roof of that building, a tree can fall, they can crush us. So that's a bit of what we do. So we have to rough it for a while, but I guess I can always say to anyone that wants to do this, or any groups that want to do this, that it's not a joking matter. It's not something that you can just hop in and do. And I know people mean well and they want to do the best, but this is very, very dangerous what we do. It's very life-threatening. It's, you know, every time we get ready to leave, kind of that understanding that back loved ones or something serious could happen. So it's not for the faint of heart. We literally do this just because we love the animals so much, and that's all we want to help. My dog gave his life so I can continue my life for the most part, and that's why I choose to do it. So yeah, like I said, I'll keep rambling on and on, but I guess what I'm doing now is heating up a can you hold that?
Yeah.
For other people that aren't in the military and don't know what these are, it's a chemical you put water in, which I put too much in, like always. It's like one of those hot packs that you put your, like those hand warmers when you get, you know, in the wintertime. You put some water in it, it smokes, steams, it gets really hot when you
poured all the water out.
Yeah, I put too much water. But anyways, it gets hot. I'm gonna put that bag of lovely coffee in it, my chicken noodle soup. You let it sit and then it warms up. So like I said, this is our diet. If we wanted to go eat at a restaurant, there are none open to go get stuff. There's no groceries, and we have to.
That's a good one.
That one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I gotta move the truck.
Yep.
Alright, hang on, guys.
Wind's blowing from a different direction now. We gotta get at a different angle.
I gotta work.
Because it's coming in pretty strong now.
That one felt like it lifted the truck up. Yeah.
So it's going this way.
So we need to turn. God, you feel it's pushing the tree.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay.
That's better.
Sorry about that, but yeah, like I said, there's no restaurants, there's no nothing. The other thing is, in a perfect case scenario or best case scenario, you know, I'd have a big fleet of trucks or a huge truck where we can have all this stuff, but we have to pack very, very light. All our rescue gear has to be packed, our food, our water, anything, communications, safety, anything we have to carry, but we also have to have room for a little area to sleep. It's not good sleep, but somewhere to lay down. Things need to stay dry, and then when we find animals, which we always do, they need somewhere to go too. So there's always this delicate balance. I'm gonna put this in there. There's always this delicate balance of what is needed and what we don't need, I guess. I mean, we have lots of equipment, and I'd love to take everything, and every single deployment we go on, there's always things I wish I had, but like I said, it's that fine balance that we're doing. So that's a little bit of what we do. I know I don't want to bore you guys to death with what we're doing. It's kind of boring. You're always watching us in this truck aimlessly doing nothing, it seems like, or, you know, like I said, it's hard to see. I really wish I could show you guys the scope of the weather, but we don't have a film crew to follow us, or, you know, high dollar cameras. I tend to break stuff, so that's where we are at that. So like I said, these wind gusts keep picking up. I'd have to say it's probably blowing 30 or 40 miles per hour now. And then these big gusts, like I said, it shakes the truck, and it definitely wakes us up. So said, we're gonna keep an eye on it. I wish I could. I really don't want to be walking around there right now because it's getting a little too windy. But if you guys want us to let it roll, just let us know. I mean, you can go on your phone and look.
Yeah, I'll look on my phone, see what comments are coming across.
Stuff that I think is boring, you know, other people don't. So, like I said, if you want us to let it roll, we have tons of batteries. We can let it just continuously run. You can hear some of the pointless stuff we talk about to pass time. Watch me eat this disgusting food. That's really about it. Like I said, this is the hardest time because you can't sleep because you're constantly, I can't even really look at the camera because I'm looking at a million different things right now, but we can't sleep. Like, we have to watch, we have to look. The phones are ringing, people are asking things, asking for help. We're trying to get a game plan with fuel and all that stuff. So there's just a million things going on right now. So like I said, if that's what you guys want to see, just let us know. Dominick's looking at the comments so he can kind of respond to some of them. I can't. I need to eat. I'm starving. I mean, what are people saying? You can answer some of them while they laugh while I eat this.
Good idea. Make a TikTok account for Frank's Way Foundation. Lots of people are on TikTok nowadays.
So the thing with social media, me personally, I don't, not that I don't believe in social media, it's just I'm an older generation. Just doing is work in itself that I can't keep up with. And we have, you know, Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and all that, and it's easier to the younger generation. I hate the sound of that because I sound old, but it's just a lot. It's a ton of, and believe it or not, about this before, during deployments, I don't know if you can see my here for the GoPro, but that is my communication, that is our GPS, that is one of our lifelines. So having all these social media things on there, it's just a pain. But if someone wants to help, message the page. I'd be more than willing to let them help with something like that because it's something I can't grasp. What else are people saying?
Sleep.
Cornelius and I were the same age. Well, I'm blonde, so I got something that's a handicap for me. Like I said, remembering my passwords is like a huge thing. But yeah, like I said, or any insight with this stuff, I'd gladly do it. Another thing with the foundation, I'm not going to post any graphic stuff. You know, we'll show if a roof blows off in front of us or something like that, I'll gladly do it. If there's a family inside of it, that's a different story. But you know, there's more than enough people out there doing that. Like I said, for likes and views and all that. That's not what I'm about. We're here to help.
I just realized everybody can see me putting my hair in my mouth through the corner of the camera.
See, Dominick is so hungry he's eating his
eating my hair.
And he has lady hair. He's like Fabio.
Oh yeah, my hair's long now. Just letting it grow out.
So yeah, it's kind of funny with the social network thing. Prior to Hurricane Harvey, I mean, I would like funny stuff on Facebook, but literally I never went live. I mean, even my Facebook now, I don't post things. That's just me. I said I'm not against it, just I don't post a lot of things. And then the one video with Frank literally took off, so I went from never posting anything to, we have 2 Facebook pages, we have the Instagram, stuff like that, so it's been a huge learning curve with that stuff. Dominick's on TikTok constantly.
Oh yeah.
Or Tinder or whatever the
watching TikTok all the time. Tinder like too, said, yeah.
I can't ever remember my passwords.
Huh?
Point it out there a little bit. Yeah, like I said, I can't, like, if I lose my phone, I can't remember my password to it, so it's just that bad. So but my good friend Brian has been helping out with that tremendously. Like I said, I'm blonde and weird, so I'll do the dirty stuff of getting in the water and driving around, but social media just, it boggles me and I can't figure it out. But yeah, so what else are people saying? Because I can't.
This is when I dig social helps network help. That it does.
It does.
That's why a lot of teachers nowadays do that thing in their classroom. They take a picture, see how far it gets. Things on social media, they spread like a wildfire.
I don't even know about that. Well, Joni, if you'd like to help, please reach out to us. That would be awesome. That's the other thing is we have what we're doing. Like we don't. A lot of people think we're this. I've gotten that a lot. We're the big organization. We're really not. We have a really small core of good people that help us. But a big thing with, especially like right now, Dominick's eating his hair again. There's more MREs. There's a whole case. Just eat here.
Can't help it. I can't help it, man.
The other big thing is there's a lot of people that want to help, and a lot of people want to go into the hurricanes, which is great. You know, we always need help, but there's the element that I don't know, that nobody knows, and Dominick's been to countless hurricanes with me.
That I have.
There's people, you know, Fernando, my cousin Danny. There has to be that level of trust, not only to, you know, read maps, but we have to trust our lives with each other. There can't be any second guessing of something bad happens that the ball will get dropped. So I know we are out here saving animals, and that's what we're doing, but we put ourselves in bad situations, and we have to trust each other with our lives. So vetting process is really hard to. Everyone can hear you doing that on camera, by the way. So
Nah.
It's hard to vet people to go into a hurricane. One, because it's telling somebody like, yeah, you want to come to a hurricane or a natural disaster when we don't know when, where, or how it's going to happen. It's hard for them to arrange their family life for that. The other thing is, like now, if something were to happen where, say Dominick didn't want to be here, or I didn't want to be here, we can't leave. We're stuck here.
Yeah.
You got to ride it out.
No driving home.
So, like I said, the vetting process, I've tried, and it's hard because I can't replicate any of this stuff. I mean, literally, you can't. They're all different, and it takes a long time to be able to almost teach people some of the things that we have to do, like now how we're faced into the wind, how to preserve fuel, how to preserve tires, how to not get soaking wet so you're wet the whole entire time.
Which that still happens a lot anyways.
Yeah, we fell on that a lot. And now, I mean, even we're still learning. COVID, I mean, I knew nothing about COVID prior to the pandemic. No one did. So I'm having to deal with that, and personal protection equipment to limit the chances of contracting any sickness. If we cut ourselves, it could be detrimental in these areas. We're in very dirty areas, dirty water, polluted water, so little things like a paper cut or you stub your toe could be life-threatening. So I think that's about the gist of it.
Last time I stubbed my toe real bad because I was not thinking too well, and I came in flip-flops. I had my boots, had my flip-flops though too.
And we couldn't find a tow truck for miles. Well, answer some questions. I'm gonna eat this.
All right, yeah, Tina, we'll do everything we can to stay safe, and God bless you as well. Yeah, no, there's no, it's unpredictable out here, so we try to predict as much as we can, and you know, stay safe that way. But you never know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna regret eating this.
Oh yeah, yeah, you are.
What? Why don't you talk about some stuff?
See, yeah, it'd be nice. Do what?
Oh, go ahead.
Know what you're saying?
I said after you answer that, why don't you talk about the things that, from your perspective?
Oh, I mean, I know my perspective on this kind of stuff is, I know as a little kid, I grew up watching Jim Cantor, or is it Jim Cantori, or I don't even know how to pronounce his last name properly. I wanted to be, that's what I wanted to do, was come to these storms and do this. And then after Hurricane Michael hit, you know, I saw an opportunity. I had took my deuce, the big deuce and a half, and I brought it out to Mariana and just did what I can to help, and that's how I met David. So now, you know, I get the best of both worlds. I get to do what I wanted to do when I was a little kid, you know, come out here to these hurricanes and take cool footage, but I also get to come out here and help people and animals. And that's the bigger thing, you know, being able to help. I mean, you can't really put a price on that, you know.
That's another gust.
Yeah, some good gusts.
What else? I can't read your phone.
It's still all the same.
What does everybody else want to see? I don't know how many people are watching, but
There's 5 people watching.
well, comment, say what you have to say, things you want to say. Like I said, we're bored. We've been sitting in this truck since yesterday.
Yeah.
So we go stir crazy. Literally, I'm sitting next to Dominic. My truck isn't, I don't have a big truck. It's a Toyota Tacoma. It's small, so
Very
Plus-
small.
plus with all the gear. So, you know, I didn't bring cards or dominoes or anything like you think I should have, but
Right?
we're not thinking about that when we go out. So
Yeah, like sometimes you even forget kind of important gear, like myself. I was in such a rush to get out of there, I left all my rain gear. You'd think going to a hurricane, that'd be one of the things you would really remember to grab is your rain gear. Nope, forgot it all.
well, luckily I have double.
Yes, thank gosh. Thank gosh for that.
So another thing, like everyone, I think you're gonna get the frost window.
Yeah, defog the window.
So often people tell me, they said, David, you look tired. So with these deployments, what usually happens is I have everything set up to where I can load up and leave within 15-20 minutes. What stops that is a lot of it is here, good one.
I'm gonna get me an MRE now. I'm hungry.
I have to double check and make sure everything's working. So anyways, I can leave in less than an hour. So I'll have to drive to, you know, usually with my luck, if I'm in Texas, it'll be in Florida. If I'm in Florida, it's in Texas. Well, there you go. Get some wind. So I have to drive all the way there. You know, just the joys of driving across the country. Get to where we're going, and then like I said, there's times like this. So what's happening is
Oh yes, the beef stew.
you can't sleep. You should sleep, but you know, like I said, we won't sleep at all tonight. There's just no way it's gonna happen. And then on top of that, right after that, we have to go help some animals. We always run across people and animals. That's another point I wanted to bring up. Like I said, I'm gonna ramble a lot because we're bored. All too often there's people like Jim Cantor, news outlets will go. We saw this in Hurricane Michael in Panama City, and it's been like this every hurricane, even Hurricane Harvey. The news media goes to whatever area they go to. People that want to help, what they will do is they will go to those areas. So what ends up happening, and it breaks my heart, is they will go there. I've seen groups that, you know, a church group will load up a trailer and drive to go help. They'll have supplies, they just want to help. And what happens is they end up getting in these traffic jams to get in these small areas that the news was, and they get turned away with all these donations, with all this help, with all this aid. And it's really disheartening for them because they're honestly doing a good thing, but they don't know where to go. So with this hurricane, for example, it's 300 plus miles square. So in every direction, it's over 300 miles. If you go anywhere, there's people in need. There are animals in need. There are, you know, people that need food, all of that. So you just have to.
Got the honey mustard and pretzel on, or honey mustard and onion pretzel.
It's the little
Yes.
things in life. I got Skittles. So there is a need, and they need to bring it or get it to them. So
Okay.
you know, that's why we're doing, or getting off track. So like I said, any direction you go, you can find someone or something that needs help.
What is this?
Coffee. So literally, we will leave this Walmart parking lot. If I don't even look at my phone, I can find some animal that needs help without a doubt, relatively quick. So you know, don't get discouraged. Or if there's a group, send me a message. I will tell them right where they need to go to help out. So hang on a second. I'm trying to keep the windows defrosted and talk and all that stuff. So with that being said, say the hurricane or the storm were to let up a little bit where we could leave right now, on no sleep, we have to go out, and 99.9% of the time you pull out of, you know, this Walmart parking lot, there's trees everywhere. So we literally have to get out of the truck, cut our way through the debris, move power lines, whatever's in our way to get down the road. A simple task, as in, like, we are going to go to, say, your neighborhood Walmart to 2 blocks down the street where you normally go. It might take us 3 hours to get there because we have to cut trees and we can't go that way. We got to turn around. Cut trees the other way, can't go that way, have to turn around. So it's very mentally demanding, and it's also very physically demanding on what we do. So generally after a deployment, and then I have to drive home. After a deployment, I'm wiped out. There's 2-3 days where I'm just wiped out. On top of it, I have to go home to Pound Cake. And Pound Cake is, I mean, all the dogs do it, but she's the worst, I guess. She makes it known that she's not happy that I left. So I think that's the hardest part of the deployments, is dealing with Pound Cake and having to appease her because she's so mad I left. And that's another thing about these deployments. I've had a dog by my side since Frank. As I'm getting older and wiser with what we're doing, it's kind of weird when Dominick's not here and I'm always looking over to my right, or I'll buy a, you know, beef jerky and there's no dog there. So it's kind of weird. It really is.
Share your beef jerky with me, man.
No,
I don't mind.
You're not getting my beef jerky. So that's how that is.
That's rude. I shared my beef jerky with you earlier.
Yeah, but
You know what?
that's different. Okay, sorry, I'm getting off topic. So, love from Colorado. Thank you guys. So, how do I know Dominick? Long story short, we met in Marianna, Florida during Hurricane Michael. We were helping Partners for Pets. We were, Lisa and I were cutting the trees to get down the street, you know, just looking at our Home Depot cheap chainsaws and the pine trees going, you know, we're going to be here for months trying to cut these trees. This 20-some-year-old kid shows up in this huge military truck, and he had some people with him. He hopped out and he helped, and we kind of met from there and started talking. Another aspect of what we do is there's groups out there. I don't want to mention names. Some are good, some are bad, but what they do is they usually have a Facebook group, and what happens is, what they'll do is you pretty much sign a waiver. It says, you know, if anything happens to you, they're not responsible. People will go on their Facebook and say, I'm so-and-so, I am at this address and I need this help. And what they'll do is they'll dispatch those people. So Dominick was working or volunteering for one of those groups, and I'm highly against them. We got to see it in Hurricane Harvey. Being there's that disconnect between the people that are running the group and the people on the ground, there's no sense of, they don't see things. And
paid through FEMA.
yes,
Those guys are.
what happens is they're not responsible for you. You signed a waiver. They want to help and they want to do good, but they just haphazardly send you somewhere, which is really bad. Luckily, I lost Frank early in Hurricane Harvey, because if I didn't know what I learned then, I would have put myself and everyone I was with in very dangerous situations that we didn't need to be in. So that's one thing I think. Dude, can you stop making so much?
I'm trying to get my food in here.
So it was tragic, and I'd much rather have Frank back, but we had to learn really quick of things you do and you don't do. The other thing is there's a lot of groups that mean well, and they're hindered because these other groups, they're not following protocol. So from law enforcement, they'd rather just not deal with anyone, not allow anyone in, because like I said, they can't be helping people that are supposed to be helping. It makes everybody look bad. As far as what we do, one of the biggest things I get is when they see animal rescue on the truck and on the jet ski, they think we're PETA or FEMA, or these people that are going to go and take animals from out of people's arms and, you know, cause a big problem. So we're not that, and that's something that we will have to explain away every deployment, but we're here to help. Whether that be, sit at a fire station and go on calls with them, we're here to help. And we are trying to show law enforcement, show these government entities that there are groups out there that help. We're here to, first and foremost, abide by the law, follow their protocol, and not interfere with what they're doing. So we've been pretty successful with that. We get pretty much free reign to do what we want. But we always tread lightly. We always, like I said, if they tell us to leave, we leave. That's just how it is. We're not here to start fights or buck the system. We're here to do what we do. So, like I said, we've been doing good things. Oh wow, that part of the parking lot's flooded. So here's a prime example. So it's a mandatory evacuation. It's a mandatory, you shouldn't be out. These are some people in little cars. Yeah, little cars. They're playing around. They shouldn't be out. For whatever reasons they're doing what they're doing. I don't want to say they're up to no good, but they shouldn't be out. So what's gonna happen, and if the battery doesn't die and I don't have to change it out, what you'll happen to see is you'll see a sheriff, because they're sitting in the middle of the road. Now, good Lord, look at the one. So the sheriff is sitting out there, pretty much to direct traffic, or if an emergency happens, he's there. So this poor guy is just like us. He's sitting in a squad car, risking his life away from his family, in the middle of the road, hoping nothing hits his truck or he doesn't go home to his kids. So people like this will come running out, and like I said, I don't want to say they're doing anything bad, but they shouldn't be here. He's gonna come here shortly and he's gonna kick him out, so he just wasted time with this. This one I haven't spoken to, but generally I always talk to law enforcement, tell them who we are, identify ourselves, and say, this is where we are. So other than us moving the truck to keep it safe, we're not going near the building, we're not doing anything to make him have to come over here or second guess what we're doing. We don't play music, we're not loud, we don't leave a mess. These are all things, like, we are guests of this area, the city, the state. We want it to be as if we were never here. Jesus. We're gonna have to move the truck again. So, like I said, these are all little things.
I'll stand out there and block the wind.
So, here, you guys can see the cars, they're sitting there. And not only that, he's got to be here for an indefinite amount of hours, just like we do. The 9 to 5, 8-hour job, that's not, during the hurricanes, these guys work just as many hours, if not more, as we do. Worrying about their families, because they live in these neighborhoods, and now he's gonna have to get out of his truck, get soaking wet, and then sit in his truck for an indefinite amount of time. So it's just little things like that don't need to happen. So, or not only that, if
we see one of these little cars and there's a tree on top of it, we have to go help them. So that's just the stuff that we don't like seeing. So yeah, like I said, that's about it. I'm gonna change batteries. I'm gonna drink this semi-lukewarm coffee.
Think of it as like a half iced coffee from Starbucks.
Kinda, just minus the flavor and the sugar. So yeah, I'm gonna swap batteries because, like I said, I bring a ton of them, and then I'm gonna drink this, and it should give me. I don't know if it's gonna give me energy or I'm just gonna gag on it enough that I wouldn't want to sleep with an aftertaste like that in my mouth. And then I'm going to see. This is the mango peach applesauce. You rip this top off and you just kind of like shoot it in your mouth.
Like a Go-Gurt.
Yeah, like a Go-Gurt. So it's like a fruit pack. So yeah, like I said, give us a little bit. If you guys don't want to see this, please tell us, like, hey, we're tired of hearing you, tired of seeing the truck, tired of looking at the Walmart sign. Just please let us know. Like I said, I want to get you guys as much information as possible. It helps us with time go by. Like I said, I've been talking to Dominic, and he's a pretty boring guy.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, thank you for all the comments and the love, and we'll be back.